Hi guys, it's Susan from Second Act. How are you? Happy Valentine's Day. Um, I am here for my week 20 update. Gosh, the weeks just are flying by faster and faster, it seems like now. So that's exciting. So my surgery day was September 27th, 2016 with Dr. Mark Zare out of Good Samaritan Hospital in San Jose. My high weight was 240, my surgery weight was 225, and my current weight is 190. So last week I was at 191, and I was hoping that I was going to be 189 so I could say that I'm in the 80s, but I did lose another pound. I'm 190, so hopefully next week. I guess it was too much to ask to lose 2 pounds in a week for me. But I'm happy that I'm down the pound and that I can say I'm at 190, and my next step is to be in the 180s, so I've got no choice. So I'm excited about that. So anyway, I had a pretty big week in many ways. So this video might be a little bit longer than a normal video because I kind of wanted to touch upon some of the things, because one of the big things was that I had my 4-month check-in with Dr. Zare. So some things kind of came out of that. The other thing too is, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I hit my 50-pound weight loss mark this past week, which was really exciting to me. So it's kind of where I'm at now, the 190. So that was really exciting. I mean, that to me seems like a pretty significant weight loss, the 50 pounds. I kind of feel like I've earned my merit. I've earned my little stars. It's 50 pounds is a good chunk of weight. So I'm very, very happy about that 50-pound weight loss mark. So that was a big milestone for me. And now it really makes me feel like I'm on solid footing, and, just anywhere I go from here is going to be great. So I'm very excited about that. Sorry if I keep looking off to the side. I've got my notes right here. So like I mentioned, the big thing that happened this past week was that I went in for my 4-month checkup a little late, a couple weeks late, but with Dr. Mark Zare. So this is the one where they take a lot of blood work, and, they let you know your levels and all of that. So it was a good visit. When I went in, he was telling me that all my blood work looked really good. Like, I was in all the normal levels for all the standard stuff, my iron, whatever, it is that they look for. Everything was normal. So that was really good. The only thing he said, there were 2 points he was a little concerned with. One of them was my A1C level, which he said was at 6.5, which is a little high. It's a little above normal. 6 and below is normal. So if you're a follower of mine, you've known from the past that I was type 2 diabetic before I got the VSG surgery. So what he doesn't know, because usually my diabetic stuff I've dealt with my regular MD, is the last time I had my blood work done for the A1C level, it was at 7 point something, and that was down from, I originally started like at 9 point something. Then last blood work was 7. So what he didn't really know was that 6.5 is good, because it means that I've gone down from the 7. So, although he showed a little concern, I'm not concerned, because I am almost to the normal range now, and I'm not on my medication anymore. So that's all my body, that's where my body is at the 6.5. So I was actually really happy to hear that. But the big concern for me was my cholesterol level. So the last time I had my blood work done with my regular MD, which was about a month after surgery, my cholesterol was at 193. I originally started off like in the 250s before surgery. Then a month afterwards, when my regular MD did my blood work, I was at 193. Well, now this blood work with Dr. Zare showed me at 250 something again. And I was really discouraged by that, because I was just like, what the heck happened? And he even said, at this number, he said, I would want to see somebody on cholesterol medication. Well, like that. My whole thing with doing this journey was to get my health back and to not have to be on any pills or anything. And so I was really disturbed to hear this. I actually have to do another set of blood work for my regular doctor. Um, Probably this Thursday, I'll do it. So we'll see what the cholesterol says when I meet with her next week, I believe it is. But the only thing I could think that the reason why my cholesterol might go back up is that since having the surgery and doing this, obviously when I first took the blood work a month after my surgery, I had still been on the liquid diet and then just the mashed food diet. So I hadn't gotten into eating regular foods yet. So, of course, my cholesterol would have probably been a good reflection. What I think happened is after I started eating regular foods, because I'm not a huge meat eater, I substituted a lot of cheese for, you know, protein and eggs for protein as opposed to eating a lot of meat. I'm just not a big meat eater. And so, those foods that I was substituting for the meat, well, even, meats, if you don't eat the lean kind, have cholesterol. But that's the only thing I can think of is that, maybe I was eating a little too much of the cheese and the eggs to fill the protein up there. So that is something that I'm really going to be paying close attention to. I'm going to really try to cut back on the cheese and figure out other ways to get my protein in. Maybe I go to egg whites and you don't do the yolk. I don't know. I'm really going to have to look at that. If any of you guys have other suggestions as to how to get that protein in, please let me know. Especially, I don't consider myself a vegan or a vegetarian fully, but I could certainly go that way if I had to. So, for any of you guys who are like me, who don't like to eat a lot of meat, or even if you're vegan or vegetarian, if you could give me other great protein resources, that would be great, because that aren't high cholesterol. Because I don't want to have my cholesterol be high like that where a doctor's going to tell me that I have to, be on medication. Because if my regular doctor next week sees my number that high, and I can't imagine it's going to go under 200 by the time I see her next week, she's going to tell me I'm going to need to be on medication too, and I do not want to be on my medication. So please, give me any suggestions if you have them as far as other protein resources. Can't say I've ever been a big tofu person, but maybe that tofu is something I incorporate if that, is a good replacement for the protein as well. So that was the big disappointment. Everything else was really good to hear on that 4-month checkup, but the cholesterol was a Debbie Downer. That was very not good to hear. The other thing, though, my doctor was happy with was he doesn't go so much by the number of your weight, he goes more by your BMI. And so he had said that in my case, what he would have wanted to see was me down by 7 points on my BMI. I think he said my BMI was 38 or 39 when I started. And actually, my BMI now is at 30. So he said he would have liked to see me lose 7 points, and he said I lost 9. So he was very happy with that. So that makes me feel good too. So I'm at a 30 BMI right now, and my ultimate goal is to be at a 25 BMI. And so in order for me, I think I've calculated this, in order for me to be at 25 BMI, my weight needs to come down between 150 and 160. And 150 is my ultimate goal. I have 170 set as my main goal, or first goal, I should say. Sorry. 170 is my first goal, and then 150 is my final goal. Just because I can't even imagine getting below 150. I've never been below 170 as an adult, so I can't even imagine being below 150. And I know I'm happy in the 170s. So, I know I'll be thrilled in the 150s. And, for me, if at this point in my life, if I could just maintain that loss, I think I'd be thrilled. So, and that if that gets me to a normal BMI range, then I'm happy with that as well. So that's my goals. And what's really exciting is that, I'm 20 pounds away from my first goal, and it seems so very doable now. I mean, 20 pounds is still a lot of weight to lose, but it's in the doable category now. I see it off in the horizon, and I know that I'm heading towards that, and it'll be here sooner than I can imagine. So that's very exciting. So that was, sort of a momentous occasion this past week. Um, the other thing I talked to my doctor about when I went for my checkup was my hair loss, because I have definitely been experiencing some hair loss. It's not like it's coming out in chunks, but it's definitely coming out in strands, when I take a shower, brush my hair, that type of thing. And I am on 15,000 milligrams of biotin. I take iron, I take omega 3, I take all my vitamins. So, and I had told my doctor that. And what I like about my doctor is he's sort of a no frills kind of guy. He's just gonna lay it on the line with you. He doesn't like wasting anybody's time. He just, puts it right out there. And so when I asked him about the hair loss and what I could do about it, he said, "You're not going to like my answer." He said, "As long as you're losing significant weight, you're going to lose hair. It's just a part of the process." And what he told me was, don't waste your money on excessive vitamins, hair treatments. Too late, but I've done all of that. I've been using a hair treatment product, uh, but he said don't bother wasting your money on a lot of stuff. He says it's just a part of the process while while you're in this phase where you're losing the significant amount of your weight, you're going to have some hair loss. But he said when your weight loss slows down, so will your hair loss. And I believe him, because like I said, I've been doing everything that I thought would be good for my hair, and I'm still losing the hair. Like I said, it's not coming out in chunks, and I'm sure that what I'm taking and what I'm doing is not hurting me by any means. But I do believe that the hair loss is just a part of the process and something that we just all have to kind of work through. So, I thought that realistic outview on it was, spot on. And I just kind of took it to heart. And I'll keep doing what I'm doing. I'll keep taking the vitamins I'm taking. And I obviously bought the hair treatment. It wasn't that cheap either. So I will definitely continue to use that. As I said before, I'm sure none of that is going to harm me in any way. So I'll keep doing it. But unfortunately, the hair loss is just a part of the process. So, I'll have to deal with that. The other thing that I had going on this week is that I posted a picture on Instagram today for Valentine's Day. Um, a picture that was taken about 7 years ago. It's my husband and my doggies, and I have since I have another German Shepherd that is not in that picture because he wasn't with us at that time. So my little rescue, he's my biggest. He's 105, but he's not in that picture. But I posted that picture because that picture was taken at my thinnest as an adult. I was probably between 170 and 175 at that point. And those are size 10 jeans that I'm wearing in that photograph. And after I posted it, I was looking at it and I was really getting inspired because I thought, wow, I am only 15, maybe 20 pounds away, but I think closer to 15 from what I was in that picture. And so it really got me inspired. And I am now using those jeans. As you guys know, in the past, I've always used clothes as my barometer of where I'm at. And so I'm excited to say that I am now going to use those jeans because I kept them. as my inspiration for fitting into them. And that will be a judgment of where I'm at. So I'm excited for that because I just, like I said, that'll be the landmark of my lowest point as an adult. And, from that point forward, I'm going to have to buy new clothes. And from that point forward, it just means that I am, heading towards my ultimate goal. But the other thing that I posted this past week after I posted my regular video is I posted a pre-opper to post-opper, or sorry, I keep getting that wrong, post-opper to pre-opper video. And one of the things that I said in that video, it was that, what I'm learning is that the struggle is real, and I really believe that the struggle gets a little harder as your journey goes on. And the reason I say that is because as you move forward in your journey and you're not on the shakes and the mashed food, and you're really eating real foods, and the further along you get and you're losing weight, the more comfortable you start becoming with yourself and your body, and you kind of get to that point where you're in a comfort zone, and you start to think, oh, I can start incorporating some of my old foods, and I've been trying to avoid that big time. And where my revelation came from this past week is that it's my husband's birthday this tomorrow, and this weekend we had my nephew over and we had a cake for my husband, and I wasn't going to have any of the cake, but as I was slicing pieces for the other people, I actually started to lick the knife with the icing on it, and all of a sudden that rush and flood of that love for the sugar taste came rushing back at me. And I immediately thought, oh, maybe I'll just take a little bite of the cake. And then I said, no, what are you doing? You can't do this. And so I had to really cognitively stop myself from wanting any more of that cake. And I very quickly packed the cake up, put it in the refrigerator, gave the boys their cake, and rinsed the knife off because I just found my mindset going right back to my old ways. Like, licking, taking a little bit more icing, wanting a piece of that cake. Oh, it's not going to hurt if I take a bite. And then I just know that that one bite will lead to another bite. So, that's why I say the struggle really is real, and it gets a little harder because I think we start getting more comfortable as we start losing weight, and we start feeling like, oh, I can have a little bite of that. The problem is one bite leads to another, which is why I've said all along that I didn't want to go into my habits of eating the old foods that I used to eat, eating the sugar I used to eat. And I am a type 2 diabetic. I may not be on my medication now. My numbers might be almost normal, but the minute I start eating sugar again, I'm going to be a diabetic again. So I can't go back to that. And I really had to be strong to think that and take that action. And, I can only see this continuing on and on as the further I keep going in my journey. I just have to remain stronger and stronger and stronger because it's too easy to fall right back onto those old habits. And I'm just not going to do that. I'm not. I'm telling myself now I'm not going to do that. So, there you have it. It was a big week for me. It was, a few ups, a few downs. So hopefully this week is a little smoother, but I feel like I had some lessons this past week. I'm going to take them moving forward, and hopefully this will be the week that I will weigh in at 189 next week, so I can officially say that I'm in the 80s. Thank you guys all for, the love you give me here on YouTube, for the love you give me on Instagram, and I give you the love back on Valentine's Day. Thank you so much for everything. I really support you guys, and I love the support that I receive here as well. Thank you to my new subscribers. So just want to give you all my love today on Valentine's Day. All right, you guys. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day.